Hello and welcome back to Dave's Headlines again. Today I'm in Leicester, some 250 miles south of my previous disused railway adventure, at this beautiful heritage station just next to me here, from which we begin and explore along part of the former Great Central railway route, which once sliced its way through the city before Dr. Beeching sliced his way through it. Now you're going to find me a bit savage breaking this to you so abruptly, but Leicester North here is not actually part of the original route, but its actual predecessor is just up there, or what's left of it is. Shall we go and meet it? The last bit of Belgrave and Birstall station is this brief segment of wall and bricked up doorway up on Station Road. This final stop on the round down to Leicester, which closed in 1963, was pretty similar in style to a number of other suburban stations along this part of the Great Central, with its island platform, which housed booking office, toilets, waiting rooms, and also a station master's office, all accessed from steps up the top of a bridge. Accessing it these days, however, is relatively harder, and if brick removal was your forte, I'd advise having a ladder ready on the other side. Otherwise, you've got a 20-foot fall into ballast to greet you. The station buildings and platform did survive until the 1980s, by which time, however, they'd fallen into disrepair, mostly due to vandalism, and therefore, after being considered unsafe, were demolished. And in 1991, what you see here, namely Leicester North, replaced it as the start of a new heritage railway between here and Loughborough's own new central station, offering budding passengers a popular 10-mile plus journey in the rail transport of yesteryear, steam and diesel alike. What I'm walking down to meet you here is part of the former embankment south of the station, which was flattened in 1988 to make way for the construction of the new A563 main road, which is just behind the camera. Unfortunately, as we cross said major 80-foot highway, I have to break it to you gently that there is not a great deal of embankment or track bed for the next mile into town, save for the bit we're just descending upon, or rather descending. There amongst the ivy and various fly tipping offal is the bridge, or what used to be the bridge, over Third Custom Road. And believe me, not that it looks like it, but there is a way up. eventually. And like that, we're back up on the top and up on the railway. Contrary to belief, there are a couple of moments where it opens out enough to not have to duck around the weeds. Well, nice being open for a moment, but it was never meant to last, was it? I had to switch off the camera and switch my attention to the weeds there for a moment, guys. Sorry about that. And now I've got to duck as well. The camera was too late to do that. But we're nearly at the other end of the exploration along this sole piece of embankment. After battling the weeds for a minute or maybe several, we emerge at the remains of another bridge. This is Langley Walk, and I'm going to have to switch off a moment again, so it's a bit steep down here. Two stoutly surviving abutments, some variation in the brickwork here. This maybe possibly have been added at a later stage. This whole area is some sort of old council estate now, or new council estate actually. So folks, it's back down to the paths and the roads for the next bit, as far as I can remember. You might actually discover quite an attractive array of former railway passovers on the way into Leicester. This is Beaumont Leys Lane, for example, which has quite an eye-catching coping stone design. Quite possibly not from railway time, but whoever did this reshape pretty much do the kudos. Instead of having a load of tatty severed bricks on along the top, like some of the former bridges do. Over the other side, it's just decoration by ivy. A quarter mile further on, and another corner takes us onto Blackbird Road, and this was an impressive two-span bridge straight across, widened to such form in the 1920s to accommodate tram tracks beneath. There's a lovely rounded off corner here. The name, just in case anyone's confused. And 2 or 3 holes that maybe accommodated some support ironwork once. Sadly, across the road, however, plain old offices. This bit's one of my personal favourites. This sole remaining one arch segment of the former North Viaduct spent many years of its life as a caravan sales office after the railway era. Nowadays a fencing sales office instead. I just hope they don't take offence with me hanging around with a camera, that's all. Got the remains of a bridge that once crossed the River Soar here. The remaining pier standing in the middle of the water supported a lattice twin deck span structure, removed in 1979, leaving that sad block of brick still standing by itself there amongst the greening water top. Oh, but we do have a little bit of viaduct along here, and here it is, hiding at the end of this alley. Extremely colourful viaduct as well these days. But the pièce de résistance is in its last arch right here on the right hand side. I used to imagine that tube trains actually went to Leicester Square, not Leicester. A very interesting detail, 120 miles away from the capital. Parapet brickwork also in surprisingly good stead up there, despite the weed takeover. Catching up with the city centre now at last. There was a lattice bridge crossing the canal here, which was removed in 1982, along with a segment of viaduct which continued southwest to Northgate Street. The lovely large bow-shaped lattice deck that had already gone a year earlier. Another example of when they couldn't at least hold on to one or two things. Sadly, safety had to prevail, or perhaps the repair bill didn't. The one remaining side of the Saw Lane one, nice and colourful yet. Trying just about everything on the pink and white spectrum there, I reckon. While the brick and dark grey spectrum dominates over on the north side of the pavement. Oh, I did a little bit of orange. And darting right around this final corner. Oh, and the phone box, they still exist. We come upon the absolute, no ifs or buts, centrepiece of this exploration. Still presiding frontage of the remarkable Leicester Central Station. This 6-platform station, opened at the very tail end of the 1800s, sits at the western end of the city centre. serving the nearby Midland towns Nottingham and Rugby, amongst others. The through platforms connected major cities further in the north, such as Sheffield and Manchester, with London Marylebone, while the bay platforms served trains to nearby places such as Nottingham and Rugby. Leicester Central had everything needed for a big station of its time: booking offices, cafes, restaurants, shops, and a sizable parcels office entrance. There's a little bit more to look up on the top than you imagine still. I think we should go and have a quick investigation, don't you? And we're not wrong, because in front of us here is a former parcels building, the last remaining structure at railway level. Where this car park is that we're standing on now is where the sidings ran in, coming from that direction, and somewhere around this area, maybe where that crane is, there's also a large walled turntable. Imagine that trains for London took off right through where you see all those bunting flags over there. Crazy enough, I think it's just cars and railings and tariff signs. So hope you're happy with yourself beaching. Let's look this way for the moment. Just imagine a lovely large steam engine shuffling its way in through from Belgrave and Birstall, or Corn further up the line, which still retains its impressive island station buildings today as part of that heritage railway we saw earlier, or Nottingham, or Sheffield maybe. And one more trip this way. What's interesting is that the platforms were not numbered in numerical order going straight across. Excuse my trip there. The through platforms were 5 and 6, and the bay platforms are 1 and 2 at one end and 3 and 4 at the other. If that's wrong, correct me, guys. I don't think I'll bother climbing over this fence. Heading down this next street south of the station, the somewhat catchily named Holy Bones, and we have this next catchily coloured bridge to go with it, purple and green, and some sort of burgundy element this time. Almost stagecoach bus colouring on that side. Looks like Bart Simpson after being very ill. Looks a bit better from below, I have to say. You've got one of these small side arches in the bottom there. You see there's a lot on elevated railway structures from the period. Sort of jagged brickwork up there too, that's cool. I can take it not too many double-decker buses came underneath this part during railway time. A quick further stare at the saw as we set off across town. Sorry about that. Doubles as a canal as you can probably guess from the little gathering of barges. That's a lovely place to saw down. While we're crossing over to find the next segment of railway, just to fill you in on a few things. This segment of the Great Central Railway is what was known as the London extension to what was then the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire railway route, which itself was opened in 1847. The part that we're in the middle of today opened in 1897 to connect those northern towns of London, Marylebone and places in the middle like Nottingham. Oh, and the other place again, was it again? Leicester. And it was henceforth from that amalgamation that the railway received its Great Central branding. Although post-grouping, it went on to be known by a multitude of different names. Firstly, London North Eastern Railway, and later, how's this for a mouthful, the London Midland region of British Railways. And all the time I've been burbling on about that to you, we've come upon the next bit of the actual railway. My commentary must have a magic power. Where now a hectic major road junction sits in this sullen void, once crossed above the all-conquering Braunstone Gate Bridge. The immense bow of ironmongery that once crossed what is now Great Western Road lasted for 4 decades more than Leicester Central, but sadly, due to various structural issues amongst other things, saw its deck finally lifted in 2009. The viaduct survives again to the south, but since removal of the bridge, sits fenced off, overgrown, and frankly redundant for the rest of its time. Onwards we go again, save for one last gaze through the sun at this great bridge that used to be. But almost looks like it had a chimney there, doesn't it? Sadly, like I just explained, there's no safe or possible way up there to see that bit. So we're just going to have to unmile what we can from the path alongside. Although these evil green railings aren't even gifting us that, right? Interesting type of map. We're coming in line with the line one final time today. One of a pair of pleasant looking bridges again, with us on top of them for once. This one carried the passenger side. While its sadly less accessible twin sister alongside took tracks into what was then the site of Leicester Great Central goods, sadly has no shed or track left now, just a load of new houses. If a lot of you watching are, however, of course, disappointed at the lack of a shed that you're looking forward to seeing, do not worry yourselves, because we will end today with another little treat. Just across, semi-visible behind this sweet pair of trees, or some sweetly pink flowers too on our right. Guys and guys, to finish today off with, I'll give you Leicester's historic Great Central Wagon repair shop. Standing here since 1897 and closing with the rest of the line in 1969, it's within a hair's breadth of demolition in 2011, but somehow found itself a stay of execution to this day, although occupied now only by a catering equipment centre and a Starbucks. As much as I'd like to go and rabbiting on about this wonderful building behind me, time has now caught up again, so it's time to go and grab a few Melton Mowbrays before I have to leave Leicester. So, like and subscribe, and before long, I'll be back once again. Honestly, not telling pork pies in there. Right.
Oh, Melton Mowbray? Just for me? Oh, Dave, you shouldn't have. You know, sometimes I really misjudge my flatmate, honestly. Used by date February the 2nd, 2023? Just you wait until I get down to that station.